Hello, this is Colonial Puppet, and this is a long overdue episode of the Let's Build a Stadium series. And as you can see, this wasn't here last episode. Last episode, I think we just finished up the top here with these. I forget if we did the long end of the field or the short end of the field. It's been a very long time. But basically, what happened was I built this for what was supposed to be this episode a while ago, and then I kind of switched computers, updated my gaming setup, and files got lost, and basically I wasn't able to record me building this. Luckily, this is pretty easy to build, so I'm going to be building this, and what I mean by this is obviously, it'll be easier to get what I'm talking about if I move over here. This short end of the field was exactly like the long end of the field. There were none of these kind of long windows or tall windows in place here, and there was no ground kind of here as well. So this is all brand new. It looked pretty much exactly like this. In fact, it looked exactly like the other end of the short end of the field where I'm going to be building this and showing you guys how to build it, or while you build along, I guess. So yeah, through the power of editing, I'm going to move from this end of the field. Alright, here we are. This end of the field. Okay, so what you saw over there, we're going to build over here. This is what it looked like when we left off last episode. So I'm going to start just by doing some very simple things. I'm going to start by, first showing the HUD, bringing this down so that it's even with this, which is, let's just build this out. Oh, perfect. And basically I'm just going to build these down, like so. And this is just going to be like the corner. So obviously we really don't want windows here. They're going to be kind of like vertical supports. Just kind of be a big chunky support right here. Alright, one more. Alright, and basically how we're going to do this is build down like so. Alright. A little too far. Yep. And I've noticed it's been over a year since I started this Let's Build, which is a little more than I intended it to run. Things have complicated since doing the skyscraper Let's Build like 4 years ago. That was very popular, and I kind of wanted to up that ever since. Not in terms of like viewership or anything, but in terms of like what I build, which is why I went to an airport, which is 3 years and still going. Over 3 years, I believe. I started that when I was still a sophomore in college, and I've since graduated. I've since gotten many jobs. I've moved. So that has been a ongoing effort for quite some time. But the problem is it's just this game. It's very easy to kind of get, I don't know, what's the term I'm looking for? It's easy to get burnt out, especially with huge kind of daunting builds such as this, such as airports and stadiums. Stadium was kind of dialing it back a little bit, to be completely honest. Because the airport series, it's like it has its own, has a bunch of tiny little Let's Builds within it. Like the control tower, the terminal, the hotel, all those things. And some people have been asking about the landing strip / runway. The reason why I haven't been making those, apart from that video I made about the whole issue with getting the laptop I'm currently playing on, the Dell Inspiron 7000 or it's the 7577. There's multiple configurations in the 7000 series. Mine's the higher end one. I forget which number that is. But yeah, apart from having issues with Amazon getting this laptop and just kind of setting up my workspace in general, there's a lot of burnout in that series where I started recording a episode and I was just like, I don't like where this is going, and so I kind of put that on hiatus for a little bit to kind of reevaluate that build. In fact, after this, I'm going to reevaluate and see what I have to do. There's a lot of things I don't really like about where the landing strip currently is. It's hard to build. I kind of went with a weird building method with that one. And I said it multiple times during the build where I was like, I'm going to kind of start off really rough and then kind of refine the design as I go on. I think that's a very, I guess, valid build method. I don't know if I implemented it that well, though, with that build. The main thing I don't like is the markings on the runways. I don't really mind the layout of the runway itself. Although I wish I took my advice and looked at the Grand Theft Auto map more, the airport in that game, because, I mean, one, it's based off of real life, and Rockstar might have very well scaled down a little bit, which is what I'm going to be doing in that build, because you're always scaling down in Minecraft. Usually. Well, that's not necessarily true, especially with like vehicles and whatnot. I did the airplane Let's Build, the 787, partially on a whim. Someone asked me to do it, and I was like, alright, you know what? I've got nothing to do right now. I'll do that. And also to kind of hold people over with the airport Let's Build while I kind of reevaluate the landing strip and whatnot. Just as a way to show that I haven't really forgotten about the whole airport thing. Here's an airplane to occupy you while I figure out what I'm going to do with this landing strip. And yeah. So that's my excuse for why the airport Let's Build is where it is. I haven't forgotten about it. I haven't like discontinued it or anything. That I want to see to completion because it's been a 3-year effort. I don't want that to lead to nowhere. That would be very frustrating for people who have been following it since the inception and only to realize that I never finished it. But hey, I mean, a lot of people have kind of told me that they've surpassed the Let's Build and kind of went off on their own creative path to complete an airport, which is pretty cool. And yeah, so in terms of this Let's Build, burnout was definitely a big thing. Losing the recording, because you guys only really see the building, not to complain or sound kind of whiny, but there's a lot more to these Let's Build than just these Let's Builds than just building. I'm usually, once I'm done building, the file sizes are huge. Some reach up to like 100-something gigabytes of video footage that has to be rendered and edited and all that good stuff, imported into various editing programs, syncing audio. So like one little hiccup in the whole video making process definitely kind of saps all the energy out of you. or at least me. So with the issue of what was supposed to be this episode, built a whole bunch, built all this and more, as you saw over on the other side of the stadium, and then lost the video files, which is kind of like, ugh, now what? And then I kind of just, instead of dealing with the issue, I kind of put it off. And yeah, I actually had both sides of the, so this was also built like the same way. I took, from what I recorded, I built that entire side over there and then copied it over here. So in preparation for the video you're watching right now, I had to undo all of that, delete all of that here, and kind of start from scratch, which is pretty time-consuming and tedious. Although this in itself is pretty tedious. So yeah, that's why this has taken so long. Apart from just, like I said, resetting my workspace and work and all that good stuff. I'm also working on a various music projects. I'd like to start a video game project as well. There's Cyberpunk City that I still haven't named yet. It's not going to be called Cyberpunk City. That's kind of lame. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that I want to do, or that I'm currently working on, that I find very interesting. Possibly more interesting than this. That I'm kind of eager to get done. And also just kind of balancing my time in general. Kind of focusing on all these projects at once is difficult. And I'll probably have to come to a point where I streamline what I'm working on, shelve some things. I definitely don't want to shelve Cyberpunk City. That is, like, right now the one thing in Minecraft that I enjoy. Or not enjoy, but I'm more, like, not very burn out on that build. It's pretty easy to do. It's a very interesting build, so it's like, it doesn't feel stale at all to me. But yeah. So, I guess what I'm going to do now is focus on these Let's Builds and try and get at least the stadium finished relatively soon. So I can kind of check that off the list, free up some more time, and hopefully not get burnt out as frequently. Because when there's a lot on your plate and like one thing goes wrong with one thing, you kind of don't want to do it anymore, at least for a while. Alright, enough bitching from me. I believe this is 2 blocks tall. Alright. Let's fill these in. But yeah, I know a lot of people have been waiting for this Let's Build for a while, and I apologize to the people who have been patient with me and all these Let's Builds. I also just want to do different videos and kind of vary my videos, my video output. And also, I think there's going to be no more of these super long Let's Builds after the stadium and the airport is done. And I'm going to instead focus on like short kind of single episode Let's Builds, like with the airplane, and like with the skyscraper Let's Builds. Those are like easy to pump out, and like I don't get discouraged or kind of jaded with those, because they're all in one sitting. It's hard to, if anything really goes wrong with any of those, then I just don't release them. It's not like this huge project with multiple episodes that people are waiting on constantly. Alright. Anyway, back to this. So we move that out there, Next, what we're going to do is, well, I'll show you where to fill in with gray concrete. Also, I feel like a lot of these huge Let's Builds are basically just me filling in large expanses, which I do cut, but I don't know. Doesn't make for the most interesting content, in my opinion. But anyway, although it does buy me some time, because I assume some people are, it's like, if they're going to be spending a lot of this time filling in all this work, I'll have some time to kind of kill in between episodes, because the people who are following along are probably busy filling in a lot of space with blocks and won't need another episode for at least a day or two. But anyway, I'm gonna cut filling all this in, obviously, for obvious reasons. Alright. Bring this out here. Alright. So, I think you guys get the idea of what's about to happen. Basically, all this gets filled in with gray concrete, or light gray concrete, sorry. If you're wondering what this is, you're like, hey, that's not how that was last time. That's just because I messed up with the filling up. This is supposed to look like this, I believe. Or no, it's supposed to look like this, sorry. So yeah. Next I'm going to fill in all this with gray concrete, so all this space. Basically you're building a floor. So this is basically an outline of what you're filling with gray concrete. I guess it would be an outline if I do this. So like around these, all up in here, gets filled. If you get the gist of what's gonna happen. Alright. So I'll fill those in and see you when I am done with that. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see, well, not yet, but now you can see, I filled all this in like I said I would. Great. Next thing we're going to do is focus on window spacing here, and to make sure that I'm accurate, or like mirroring the other side over there, I drew a little notebook, or drew a little diagram that I'm going to be referring to. So basically the first 5 windows we don't have to do anything with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one, however, we're going to put one vertical kind of thing on the inside. We're going to do that with the next 3, like so. Great. Okay, then this one we leave alone, I believe. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Actually, wait 1 second. Let me just double check something. I'm going to start from this end instead. So, let's do... Alright, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we do that. 1, 2, 3, like that. Or no, we only did 2, didn't we? No, 1, 2, 3. I guess there is only 4. And then, or there's 4 here. Okay, so 4 like that. Then we leave that one. Then we do this one, which is actually just going to be broken up like that into 2. So 3 on each side. Next, I'm going to do the same thing. I believe it's these next 3 are like this, like that. Yeah. Okay, so like that. This one we're going to do one on either end, so like this. And like this. And then we're going to break it up in the middle like that. So 4 in the middle, 3 on either side. Alright, now for the big guy. This big expanse gets 1 on either end. Like so. Alright. And then it gets 3, 3, 3. And then I'm going to go to the other side and build out 3, 3, 3. It should leave the middle being 6 blocks wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Cool. Same thing. Now we're just going to mirror what we did. So this one gets 1 on either end. Like that. And then 2. So 3, 3, and then 4 in the middle. And when I'm saying the numbers, I'm referring to the number of blocks in between. So 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, 3. Okay. And these get just the single down the middle. My God, I can't. Oh my Jesus. There we go. Same thing here. Same thing here. Okay. Now this one is a little different, isn't it? There's like one kind of weird loopy thing about this building, and I think it's like the one gets the other, so it's not exactly mirrored for some reason, but we Gucci. There we go. So there's that. Looks pretty good. Next, what we do is just kind of start putting in details in the windows. And so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to start by doing these on the bottom, just all the way down. Stairs always make great window decorations, or just kind of, not even decorations, just kind of variants. Is that a word? It's a word, but is it the right word? Kind of makes it look nice. More realistic. Alright. Oops. And then I think next episode we're going to do this, but on the long ends of the field, which should be fun. Oh boy. Then we're going to worry about these corners and what to do with them. I forget why I kept them like that. I think it was just to kind of trying to break down this build into like easily digestible chunks. Man, I cannot speak today. Funny thing I noticed, this computer sounds exactly like my old one in terms of the fan. I have a monitor on myself, so I'm listening to myself talk right now, unfortunately. And I can hear the fan revving up. Which, I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's under a lot of load right now. Right now I have Audacity running, recording my audio. I have Minecraft running, which is pretty CPU intensive. Java is in general, I think. And we have Fraps recording extremely large video files on top of that. So lots going on at once. My computer probably hates me right now. It is warm to the touch. Alright. So we did that, and next what we're going to do is something that I'm not going to make you watch. And that is I'm going to fill in all these windows with black stained glass. You can use panes if you want. I'm going to use glass just because I like the look of glass. Honestly, especially in rendering, I find that glass panes typically don't look as good as stained glass, like full blocks. I like panes and how they look in some instances. They make wonderful railings, they make wonderful windows as well. If you're like kind of building on a smaller scale and want more depth to your work, using panes is always great because it kind of it's like there's more depth. It's not just another giant block up against other giant blocks. It's like kind of dips in a little bit. But with huge buildings and skyscrapers, definitely, the blocks work just fine. And like when rendering like images of your city, they kind of look better when they're like flush, when the windows are flush with the wall, in my opinion. It just kind of looks more realistic and nice. So that's my hot take on window panes versus window or glass blocks. Anywho, I'm gonna fill these in and I will see you when I'm done that. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see, I filled in the windows and yeah, it's looking pretty good. I think I'm gonna call it an episode, and next episode we'll get right into doing what we did on the short ends of the field on the long ends of the field, which should be interesting. And then after that, we'll definitely try and speed things along, get the next couple levels completed, which honestly shouldn't be that bad, and then we'll work on the base of the stadium, maybe do some light fixtures, and after some minor details, we'll be pretty much done, hopefully, relatively soon. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to check out the next episode if you want to follow along. I totally messed that up. I've said this so long. Be sure to check out the next episode when it comes out, and the previous episodes if you would like to follow along. There it is. And other than that, this has been Colonial Puppet. Let's get a good view of what we've been working on. That's a horrible view. There we go. This has been Colonial Puppet. Have a nice day.